of the Champions League, and that could be the last time we see United in the Champions League for many, many years. That is how big this problem runs deep at Manchester United now. Bottlers. I mentioned this last night before this game. This team that Manchester United have terrifies me because it is full of bottlers. Weak mentality. I don't need to name individuals because I think that's a bit of a witch hunt. But what is absolutely clear with this team is that they are bottlers. Whether it's West Ham playing us off the park, Watford playing us off the park at Old Trafford, or more importantly, I think tonight, it's Barcelona, it's Nou Camp, it's the world watching us. First 10 minutes, we go for it. We play really, really well. Barcelona score a goal. Mistakes at the end of the day. Heads drop, shit United. That is weak. That is Jelly Baby FC. This is a problem at Manchester United. Can you imagine some of the great teams we've had of the past? Look, 99, 20th anniversary, we're not winning anything, we're not doing anything. And that's just a bloody embarrassment. But you don't even have to go back 20 years. We've had leaders, we've had people who've got it. We've had periods of rebuilds where players get it. I've never known a United squad so absolutely bereft of leaders and mentality. It's just so weak. It's so weak and it is so frustrating. And it doesn't matter who the manager is. And look, Solskjaer made 2 massive mistakes tonight, which I will mention. But these players are just simply not got the mentality to play for Manchester United. And it's not just simple as getting rid of 3 or 4 players now. It's a massive rebuild with a massive set of problems. And I think the problem with United is some of the players who seem to get it and grasp it are just not good enough. And some of the players who are good enough don't get it and don't have the mentality. That's what is clear to me. You look at people like Lingard. If he wasn't from the youth setup, he'd be considered a bigger flop than Alexis Sanchez. Because he's from the youth setup, he gets away with it. Same with Marcus Rashford. Dreadful. Martial, what a talent. What a waste of a talent. Pogba, clearly world class, but not world class to build a team around. I think Paul Pogba goes and plays for Real Madrid, you'll see a really good player. But you can't build a team around Pogba. Pogba cannot be the pinnacle of the team. He needs 2 or 3 better players around him to make him better. He can't do it on his own. It's been proven he doesn't grab a game on his own. Chris Smalling, Phil Jones, why did we have to resurrect the Chuckle Brothers tonight? Why did we have to do that? There is a reason they are called the Chuckle Brothers. There is a reason they are considered the banter partnership of centre-backs in the Premier League. Because they're banter. Ashley Young. Most Manchester United fans know Ashley Young's crap. Yet we're sending him out as captain into games of football. De Gea, the best goalkeeper in the world. Not anymore. And probably because of this ridiculous contract situation we have at Manchester United. Where we are ruining players' mentality because we won't sign them up on contracts. Apparently Ander Herrera, we don't need him. Well, we needed him tonight. It would have been nice. Apparently Luke Shaw's not that good. Well, we missed him tonight as well. But apart from those 2 players, who else was missing? This is the scary thing is, Barcelona came to Old Trafford and played in 3rd gear and beat us comfortably. We go to the Nou Camp and Barcelona play in 3rd gear and beat us comfortably. We're nowhere near. Barcelona were nowhere near their best and they comfortably beat us over 2 legs. Liverpool will beat Barcelona. I think Liverpool or Man City are probably going to win the Champions League as well as the league. But we're miles off. We're an embarrassment. The limitations of that squad are scary as well. This is not picking on players. Chris Smalling has to play as our first choice centre-back at the moment. He wouldn't play for any other top 6 club in England. He'd probably play for Everton. He would not play for Arsenal, Chelsea, Spurs, Man City or Liverpool. Never in a million years. This is a centre-back who gives his all, but even Gareth Southgate won't pick him because he can't pass a parcel. And what does he do tonight? He's all full of heart. But he lets Coutinho control it and pick his spot from 30 yards. That's not top-class defending. Smalling's not good enough. Phil Jones, I don't even want to pick on Phil Jones. The reality is, he gets laughed at because he's a banter defender. He's Calamity Jones and he's running around with a bandage on his head, which I think is just a prop to mock me because he is such a bad defender. I'm surprised he's probably suffering with vertigo because he'll be feeling so dizzy because Messi twisted him more times than a bloody pot noodle. It's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Why? Lindelof's our best player, best centre-back. Why did we move Lindelof from centre-back to right-back? If anybody's ever played football, centre-back positions are far more involved in a game and have far more impact on a game than a bloody full-back. It's obvious. A right back and a left back only has half the pitch to play in. A centre-back has the whole pitch to play in. So we move our best centre-back to right-back to play Phil fucking Jones. It's like Liverpool picking Van Dijk at right-back so they can play Lovren in a title decider. It's bloody ridiculous. There are two things that Ollie did tonight that I think were meant to be really clever tactically, were actually really, really naive. Moving Lindelof, and he's the only one who can play the ball out from the back as well. So that when you actually do get the ball from Barcelona, you've got somebody who can pass the ball out instead of Jones and Smalling who just bloody hoof it. So we move Lindelof, our best centre-back, to right-back. Fucking weird. And then we play Ashley Young at left-back. And like Delo, who's been playing loads recently, doesn't get picked. But oh no, when we're 3-0 down and the game's dead and everyone's confidence is on the floor, we will chuck the 19-year-old on. We'll chuck him on now. It could destroy his confidence even more. So it just makes no sense with that. But that's by the by. I thought they were mistakes by Ollie, and obviously there are going to be mistakes in a performance like that over two legs. But the players are just weak. They're absolutely weak. Absolutely done. Nothing short of embarrassing. Another season, no trophies. Why the hell is Young starting, says James Gallagher. I think you've just got to look at the players, and I don't want to be the person who says, well, Mourinho was right, because Jose Mourinho was wrong on so much, and I think we live in a simplistic world where we go, Jose was right, and it almost makes people think, well, does that mean that Jose shouldn't have got the sack? Well, he should have got the sack. He definitely should have got the sack, because he played shit football, he parked the bus, he was a very arrogant man, and he got things wrong at Manchester United. But he may well have had an insight into what was wrong at Manchester United. I'm going to do the player ratings, don't worry. What was wrong with Manchester United in relation to that board. And it's so interesting because we spoke about this on the 8 o'clock show last night. The problem at Manchester United is very, very simply this, that, and I don't know who these players are, but we clearly have arrogant, disengaged, heads elsewhere, weak-minded players in that squad, and an absolute dearth. Like, we've got no leaders. We've got overpaid mercenary footballers at Manchester United. And I never thought I'd have to say that, but it's true. Because you cannot go to Barcelona, start off in the first 10 minutes like we did, and then play shit for 80 minutes. It is the biggest sign of being a weak-minded, spineless team. And that's what we are. That's why West Ham rolled into Old Trafford on Saturday and played us off the park for 90 minutes and we luckily won. That's why Watford did it a couple of weeks before. That's why Wolves have done it. We are weak. When everything's going our way, everyone's great. But, it's a bit like the male model, isn't it, who likes to walk around in his Speedos. When it's sunny outside and he can show off his six-pack and his tan, he's strutting around, he's doing it, everything's looking good. If it's cold and windy outside, he ain't coming out. I ain't coming out. No. I'm not wasting my talent on a cold day. I'm not a grafter. And I think that's what's going on with Manchester United. And that, you look at Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. The first 3 months, everything went our way and everything's great. Ole's at the wheel. When things start to go bad, that's when you find out about a manager, that's when you find out about your coach, and that's when you find out about your players. And these players, I don't even know where to start. Can we get top four? If we start like we did against Barcelona, against Everton, and we get a goal and everything's going our way, we can win. But if Everton get a lucky goal or something goes against us, we'll lose because we're weak-minded. Everything has to go for our way to win at the moment. But long-term, this team is never going to be any better than fifth. Never going to be any better than fifth. We're always going to be fighting for fourth place because that's the squad that we've got. And you look at Anthony Martial, you look at Jesse Lingard, you look at Marcus Rashford, the future of this club. Their mentality levels are shocking. Absolutely shocking. They drift out of games ridiculously. Where is the hunger? Where is the fight? Where is the passion? They're meant to be the future of this club, and none of them grab a game when the going gets tough. When it's going well, they're great, but they're meant to be the future. And where's the fight? And you know what? Mason Greenwood last night scored a goal for the under-23s from about 35 yards out. Curled it up and over the wall. I'm fed up to the back teeth of seeing Marcus Rashford blast it into Rosette or blast it into the wall. A free kick is a free kick. Doesn't matter whether it's on a windy Sunday morning in the pub league or whether it's in front of 100,000 people at the Nou Camp. Free kick technique is free kick technique. And you've got a young lad there who would have done 10 times better than that front three today. I don't get why we're not playing some of these lads because we're embarrassing at the moment. So just give the youth a chance. They'll get the support, they'll get the backing, and you know what? They'll give some fight and desire, because United lack leaders, they lack desire. I don't know what's going on in that dressing room, but however the influences are, they need removing from the club. I mean, let's hypothetically say it is Pogba. Let's say it is Martial. Let's say it's Lukaku. Let's say it's Matic. Whoever they are, get them out, because that dressing room is weak. It is weak, it is leaderless, and it is spineless. And they've proven that for the last few years. And more importantly, they've proven it over the last few weeks. I don't care about Mourinho or Van Gaal. They needed to go. I do care about Solskjaer. I believe in the journey under Solskjaer. And he cannot have his reputation and career destroyed by the weak mentality and lack of leadership that's in that squad. Consistently, they keep failing. And he cannot be reliant on Phil Jones, Ashley Young, Chris Smalling, because they're the old boys. And I think that's what's happening at the club. I think Carrick and everybody, they're reverting, and Mike Phelan, they're reverting to the old boys. Oh, Smalling, Jones, Young, they've been around for years. They know what the club's all about. You can trust them. Maybe you can trust them, but they're shit. So I think somebody said earlier on that in 2011, we got knocked out of the Champions League by Basel. 4 of the back 5 played today. I mean, that 2011, 8 years ago, we were knocked out by Basel, and 4 of that back 5 played today. That just shows you that we're not making any steps forward. The Deadwood FC, it still exists at Manchester United, and we need to move on. We need to move on. And I think that, somebody said, are we the new Arsenal? No, we're not. We're worse than that. If we can somehow salvage Champions League football from this season, great. Absolutely great. But in some ways, it might be better that we don't, because we spend more money in the summer when we're in the Europa League, because the board shit themselves, because they're like 2 years out of the Champions League means a drop off in sponsor money, so they have to spend to make money. And 2, it will be a massive wake-up sign as to how far away we are. I think if we scam the Champions League, which we almost are, you could say that we almost have done that if we do get top 4. It's paper in the cracks. Maybe we need to... It annoys me to say it, because we've already done this once. We've been in the Europa League. We've built again. And I don't want to go through that again at all. But maybe we need a knocking off the horse again to get back up and climb again. I agree with a lot of people are saying in the live comments, the board is the problem. The board is a problem. The board have made bad decisions over the last 6 years. They haven't invested enough in the squad. But I also think that the players are a massive problem for some reason. And I'm not one of the... I like Paul Pogba, and I like Anthony Martial, and I like Jesse Lingard, and I like Marcus Rashford. But these players are important players, and I just don't see the fight or leadership in those players. Their heads drop. You look at them, and their heads are dropping, and it's like, right, their heads drop. They need a leader on the pitch to lift their heads up. That's what we need to do this summer. With regards to Paul Pogba, I think the mistake with Paul Pogba is, and I don't blame him for this, I think we bought Paul Pogba thinking we were going to buy a player that was going to lead this club on talent and leadership, and I don't think he's capable of doing it. I think Pogba needs leaders around him to make him the best player he can be. I don't think he can run the club. I don't think he's that sort of player. That's just my personal opinion on it. But in relation to De Gea and Pogba, I think mentally they've checked out anyway. I think De Gea is checked out. I think he knows he's available for free next summer. He's only got a year left on his contract. The club won't give him what he wants. I think he's unsettled, and I think that's why he's making mistakes. Pogba, I think, in his head, is like, he's unsettled. He's like, well, I don't think I'm going in the summer, but there's no way I'm having another year in the Europa League. So he's unsettled. This is what happens when you've got bank managers running the club. They're like, Herrera wants this money, we're not paying it. Mata's out of contract. Pereira's out of contract. He's out of contract. Let it run down. It will save money for us. But they don't realise they're dealing with human beings. Look at De Gea. Oh, his contract's nearly run out. Doesn't matter. We're not paying him what he wants. We'll play hardball. All right, you're going to unsettle one of your first teamers and make them feel insecure and make them have doubts about their club. And then you expect them to play high-level sport where concentration's important. It's just ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. And that's the situation we're at, really. We're a mess from top to bottom. I think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is a good appointment. I think he's made mistakes recently. As I said, the big one for me tonight, I think we all, you'd predict that I'm going to say Ashley Young. Why does he pick Ashley Young? That is the worrying thing. Everybody knows he's crap. He is crap. But the worst one I cannot understand is why you move your best centre-back to right-back to play Phil Jones. Like, it was just ridiculous. You don't move your best player, your best centre-back to right-back. You don't. You never do that. Put Phil Jones at right back, but don't move your best centre back. Just don't do that. It was really, really, really naive. But let's do the player ratings then. You know what? David De Gea actually made a couple of really good saves. But he also cost us the game, so it's got to be a 4. I don't like giving it him because I like him. Lindelof, I'll give him a 6. He didn't do anything wrong, but, you know, why was he playing there? Smalling, a 5. Probably one of his worst performances in recent week. Not terrible, but some of his marking. I'll never understand why a centre-back at the highest level gives top quality players a touch and a shot and doesn't close them down. And, you know, Phil Jones was the master at that, though. He did it twice. He's shit. 3. Ashley Young, a generous 2. I don't even want to talk about him. I'm bored of it. Fred, a 7. I mean, look, 7's going to be my top score. It really is. McTominay, some people are saying, oh, he played well. What I would say about Scott McTominay is he not part of the problem at Manchester United? Not individually, I think the lad's playing really well. But is Scott McTominay good enough to play for Manchester United if we want to win titles? No, he's not. Is he good enough to be on the bench? No, I don't think he is. I think you still need better players than him on the bench. So I think I like Scott McTominay. He's convinced me over the last few weeks, but is he getting in a Man City, Liverpool squad, Chelsea squad, Spurs squad, Arsenal squad? No, he's not. So why are we waxing lyrical about players like that, going, oh yeah, Scott McMayo and this, that and the other? Nothing against the lad. I hope he has a great career in football, but I think this is the problem. The expectations are so low. We think that we can beat very good teams with Smalling and Jones and Young and McTominay. We're not going to do it. You can't carry that many players. Pogba 6. I think a lot of people will say he was crap, but I think people are going to do that because he's Paul Pogba. He didn't, maybe a 5, but 4 for Martial, terrible. 4 for Rashford, terrible. 4 for Lingard, terrible yet again. And that's, for me, Fred was man of the match. So smash a like on the video. Fred was your man of the match. But that's terrible. You look at that. You've got people getting 2s, 3s, 4s. This is the same that happened against West Ham. It's the same that's been happening for a number of weeks now. But the disappointing thing out of all of it is that actually the first 10 minutes we played really well. But we did exactly what you know and we have spoken about. This team, when things go wrong, the heads drop and their game disappears. We went to the Nou Camp for 10 minutes and pressed high up the pitch, moved the ball quickly, got shots off. But Scott McTominay, if he could control the ball twice, had a chance to get a good shot away, messed it up. Rashford hit the bar. We played really well for the first 10 minutes and Barcelona were caught napping. They score a goal and all that optimism, all that effort disappears to a team of spineless jelly babies. And this United team, this is why you never know what you're going to get with this United team. You don't know whether they're going to go and beat PSG or get played off the park by West Ham. And that's the story with this Manchester United team. And it's very difficult. It's very difficult to not support them because we're always going to support them. But it's very difficult to have any optimism because you just don't know what you're going to get with this team. You just never know, and that makes it really difficult. I mean, you look forward to this Manchester United side, and personally, if I was the United manager, if I was in charge of Manchester United, and I was looking at the summer, I would be like, you know what? It's got to be a rebuild. It's got to be a rebuild this summer. It's got to be a rebuild. And I know a lot of people would say, "Oh, just get rid of Pogba to Real Madrid, get rid of De Gea." I think that would be wrong because I think they're on the list. But if you got rid of Pogba and you replaced him with Bruno Fernandes, if you get rid of De Gea and you bring in, I don't know, Donnarumma or someone like that, okay, you've made yourself a bit of money, you've brought players in with potential, but you've still got Ashley Young, Chris Smalling, Phil Jones, Marcus Rojo, Jesse Lingard, Marcus Rashford, Anthony Martial, Scott McTominay, Juan Mata, or Matic. You've still got 11 or 12 other players that are massively as culpable as Pogba and De Gea are. I think what United need, and it's very hard, if you could get Roy Keane back at 25 and drop him into that squad, I think everybody's level would go up. What that squad needs is a player who kicks the whole team up the arse and inspires everybody. 1 or 2 players like that would get the best out of this squad. A manager can't do it. A manager can send them out, he can give the hairdryer treatment, but we need somebody on the pitch. to get the best out of those players. And you know what? They'd be worth 300 million. I don't know whether anybody exists in football, but that's what this squad needs. We've become, Manchester United have become the epitome of the overpaid mercenary footballer. We've got the prime example in Sanchez, best paid player in the world, best paid player in the league, doesn't give a shit about Manchester United, half-hearted crap player. But we've got a few more. We've got a squad full of players who are just not good enough. And I mean, I'm looking at Jesse Lingard there, and like, you're meant to be what United's all about. You're meant to know what this club's all about. Where have you been for 3 months, Jesse? You know, I know you've had your clothing line, but come on, I mean, that's a cheap joke from me. You get what United's all about. You do the Millie Rock at Arsenal. Where's your game gone? You know, why is your head dropping? You know, I can understand players who don't get what the club's all about. I can understand their heads dropping, but why is your and Marcus Rashford's heads dropping? I mean, Marcus Rashford could almost say, well, I'm still developing, I'm only just 20. You're 27, mate. Jesse Lingard, you're 27. You're a Manchester United lad, born and bred. You're meant to get what this club's all about. Why is your head dropping after 10 minutes? Why is your game disappearing? And this is the question, and the answer is it will be in a checkbook, but you've got to get those players in, and do those players exist? You know, is this the problem with football now, that there's so many players earning so much good money that mentally they're just disengaged from actually what it means to put the shirt on? I don't know. Having said that, Liverpool don't seem to be struggling. Man City don't seem to struggle with it. The ridiculous thing is, Man City are the most soulless club in existence. They can't even sell their ground out for tomorrow's game against Spurs. But the 11 players they put on the pitch, they fight with their last breath for that shirt. Manchester United, we're the other way around. We've got the fan base, we've got the engaged lovers who love this club. The fans live, bleed and breathe for this club. We've got the fan base, but we ain't got the players. It should be the other way around. Our team should be playing like Man City, and Man City's team should be playing for Manchester United. It's arse about face. But that is the reality. It really is. We're just a bloody letdown. And that game tonight, in many ways, I'm glad it happened. I'm really glad it happened, because it highlighted exactly what the problem is with Manchester United. If we'd played crap for 90 minutes, I think we'd be like, oh, you know, what's gone wrong there? But the reality is we played well for 10 minutes. They score, heads drop. Weak mentality, spineless players. And I wish they would read the comments, and I wish they would watch this, because apart from Ashley Young and Phil Jones, who I've always said are crap, and I'll never change my opinion on that. It's not personal. I don't know. It's not your fault you get picked. But I ain't going to scapegoat Jones. I'm not going to scapegoat Pogba, De Gea, Martial, Lingard, Rashford, etc. I'm not going to do that. But they're all part of the problem. Like, why? Why do your heads drop? Why are you so weak-minded that your heads drop? Why have you turned us into Banter FC, Jelly Baby FC? Why? Why can't you fight for the shirt? You know. So basically, we go 1-0 down and that's it. We may as well just turn off and go home. Since when has that been United? United always fight to the last minute. That's what we're all about. And we've lost that ability. And you know, the ironic thing is, you look at us beating Juventus in Turin under Mourinho. Yeah, the football was crap, but yeah, Juventus thrashed us, but we kept fighting to the end. We did it again. You know, we did it a few times under Mourinho, and the football was crap. So where's that mentality gone? Why are we now a bunch of spineless bottlers? It's really confusing. It's really confusing, and all we've got left now is top four. And we've got 3 very, very difficult games: Everton away, Man City at home, Chelsea at home. And I tell you what, it makes me laugh. I was saying this on the watch along as well. Do we let Man City beat us so we can stop Liverpool winning the league? How the hell are we going to beat Man City? Like, I'm worried about beating Everton and Chelsea. How the hell are we going to beat Man City? Of course we can do. This squad can do anything. You know, they can turn up and beat the best teams every now and again. But realistically, that happy guy says, who would you replace and who for, Mark? Massive amount of players I would replace. I'm probably going to do a whole show on it tomorrow night, to be honest with you. I need to have a think, but I need to think about who we can bring in that's going to improve that squad, because we need some leaders. Bada Bing Sphinx says either Glazers has to go or they have to bend over to Ollie's demands at all costs and get a director of football in and then get a total reset of the club. It could be years in the making, mate. Richard Stainer, we're not competing for titles in the next 10 years. We're miles off, I agree. Zachary Purvis, in a rebuild, you have to sell big names for youth. Exactly, I do agree with you. Nam Dewan, what do you think about Sanchez? I think Sanchez is symbolic of what Manchester United's problem is. He's the best paid player in the league and he's the crappiest player in the squad. He needs to go. Congratulations to Mark Goldbridge for coming out, says Ian Donnan. Rashid Robinson, Mark, didn't we beat Ajax in a final? How they have built a team that competes in Europe and United can't with all our resources and money. Yeah, but Ajax have always had the same mentality. They sell their best players and they've got a great youth setup. And every now and again, every decade or so, they come up with a really good team. It's their mentality, it's their ethos. Where the hell is Director of Football? Only way we solve this is Virgil Hainsey. Mark Whitton, who are the board? Please start calling them out. Dave Kennedy, we beat Ajax in 2017. Now look at them, playing youth and beating Juventus in the quarterfinals. They bought Blind, who wasn't good enough for us. Ray Cole Brown Amore, can't blame nobody tonight. Messi was on tonight, nobody beating him tonight on that display. Totally disagree with you, Ray. I tell you what, a half-decent team beats Barcelona tonight. We were just shit. Red Devil Fighting, I'm calling for the immediate dismissal of Ed Woodward. All road leads to this cretin. Nathan Brown, blame starts and ends with those running the club. The players have got to do more though, Nathan. The players have got to do more. You put a United shirt on, you've got to... you can't just play for 10 minutes and then you concede a goal and give up. Sasha Joe, why is it Lingard plays well for England and not for United? I think he should be playing in the midfield and not right wing. That's not his natural position. And Specs says, Herrera and Shaw were sorely missed today. Ashley Young was trash again and this team lacks leadership and bottle. Congratulations to Barca. Yeah, but everyone wants to sell Herrera. Makes you laugh, doesn't it? Can I go? I can't with Young. He literally killed our hopes, says Michael Do 60. Spot on, Mark. You've said it before about the dressing room. Frederick Bellerin says he had a great game plan, but the defence is rubbish. Well, he moved Lindelof to right back and he played Ashley Young. It's like pulling your own pants down, isn't it? If you get slapped on the arse, it's your own fault. Daniel Ledson, Jones, Smalling are backup defenders and Young must go. Reece Sutherland, personally, I think Alexi played very, very well. Yeah, but you know what? It's the last 20 minutes when Barcelona are on the beach. Playing well in the last 20 minutes of a game against Barcelona when they know they're through. That's no... Nathan says Sanchez was our best player. Again, I don't take any clout from that. And also, I hate the United fan who always sympathises with Alexis Sanchez. He's the best played player in the league and he's fucking shit. I don't care if he comes on against Barcelona in the last 20 minutes and is the best player on the pitch. He's been shit for over a year and a half. He's the best played player in the league. And Barcelona had basically given up anyway. The game was won. If he does it against Everton from minute 1 on Sunday and wins the game, I'll start to give him a chance. Adoni Ressam says, is Ollie a liar and a fraud? He doesn't play youth. Tyson Marley, we weren't supposed to win, but this squad isn't good. Back to front, we are not good enough, and I fear Ollie will fall into the trap of having to pick inconsistent players because the board do not support him. You know what? It's massively disappointing. Smash a like on the video if Fred was your man of the match there. I think that's the only positive from this game. I thought Lindelof did quite well at right back as well, but it is the only positive from this game that Fred has now played 3 games in a row and has been our best player on the pitch in those 3 games. Granted, the performances have not been that good, but to put in some consistency in a team like that, it only bodes well for maybe what Fred can be in a Manchester United shirt when we actually do get back to where we need to be. He looks like a £50 million player for me at the moment, Fred. He made some mistakes. If you look at the 2 Messi goals, he's sort of involved, but you expect that because a CDM should always be close to where the ball is. But he moves the ball quickly. He gets in the way. He's quick. I like him. 7 out of 10 is no great performance. Of course it's not. But I think that Fred is a positive. I think if Matic had played today, that would have been a real problem for us. So, look, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed what he did for us. I think that that is a positive. But I think in relation to a lot of people talking about Paul Pogba, if I had to say to you about Paul Pogba, what I think needs to happen with Paul Pogba, I think there's 2 options. And I don't want to be reactionary. I don't want to be... I've seen people saying, let's get rid of De Gea. De Gea might leave because of the contract situation. You can't let... He's not the world's best goalkeeper in the world, by the way. He's not the best goalkeeper in the league. He's going through a bad patch, and I think a lot of it's to do with his contract. But In relation to Pogba, we've got two options. What we can't do is keep doing what we've been trying to do for 3 years. Make Paul Pogba the focal point of the team. Make Paul Pogba the leader of the team. He's not going to do that. He isn't going to do that. Paul Pogba's not that sort of player. And there's a lot of players like that. You know, they're very, very good players, but can they run a team on their own? You know, not everybody's a Messi, not everyone's a Ronaldo, and Pogba's not that. I think if you put Pogba in a Real Madrid team, you'll get a much better Pogba because he's surrounded by world-class players. If you put him in a United team where he's pretty much the only world-class player, he ain't going to do it on his own. So United either need to get two world-class players to play alongside Pogba, and you'll get better out of him, or you let him go and you just get 3 or 4 top-class players. But it's a negative for United. It's not working having Pogba as to build a team around because he's not a leader like that. He can't do it on his own. You look at Pogba for France, he's got Kante with him, he's got Griezmann in front of him, he's got Mbappe, he's got world-class players around him and he plays well. You look at him, Juventus, with that midfield he had around him as well. All right, he was a bit younger, but he's got world-class players around him and he plays well. You look at him at United, he's never had a world-class player alongside him. You know, Herrera's not world-class, Matic isn't world-class, Fred's not, McTominay's not, Fellaini definitely wasn't. Pogba needs world-class players next to him, and if you're not going to give him that, you may as well cash in. You really must. We didn't miss Fellaini. I'm not having any of that. Got a few Liverpool fans in. You know, look, you're barking up the wrong tree with me. I think Liverpool will smash Barcelona. I really do, over both legs. Liverpool and Man City are miles ahead of United. Spurs, Chelsea and Arsenal are ahead of United at the moment. The reality is that I don't think there's many United fans that can be bantered because we've always been quite realistic about the position we're in. 5 managers have now played Phil effing Jones. Ownership change now, says Barcreel. We've just given him a 5-year contract as well. Mohamed said it was an expected defeat. We need to use this as a stepping stone heading into the summer with Champions League football next year. I hope you're right, mate. I hope you're right. Ajax are back and we've gone backwards since Fergie left. Can Axel Twansi be our next leader, says William Jock. Well, yeah, but you're putting a massive amount of pressure on a young kid there. I don't think we should be looking at that, to be honest with you. Mark, what do you want the reaction to be from United after this game, says Name Steve. I want to see that United team play for 90 minutes like it did in the first 10 minutes against Barcelona. That's what I want to see. I think that's what we all want to see. Just play like that for 90 minutes. That's what I want to see. It's not hard. But it seems to be. It seems to be. And I don't really understand. I don't understand. It's hard. It's hard for United at the moment. And we're still in a race for top 4. We're still in a race for top 4. And I always think that this team played really well for 3 months under this manager. We're in a bad time at the moment. In some ways, it was a bonus, wasn't it, Barcelona, after the good result in Paris. But what disappoints me in isolation with the Champions League is Barcelona didn't play well at Old Trafford and we parked the bus. And then in the Nou Camp, for the first 10 minutes, I thought, oh, this has got a feeling about it. And then we go and do the same old shit defensively. And then, you know, it's not the attackers' fault that Phil Jones and De Gea and Young are crap. But then their heads drop. So then they become part of the problem. That's what happened tonight. We played well for 10 minutes. We got let down by the defence. And then because of the defence, the attackers decided to let their heads drop. There's no excuses for that. There's no excuses at all. Anyway, we've got fan cams coming in. We've also got, I think Rance is going to do as a video as well. So get you subscribed to the channel, bottom right hand corner. Drop a like on the video. Got some interesting videos to do. Tomorrow I'm going to do a video based on that comment. Actually, somebody said, what changes would you make? I'm going to think about it over the next few hours, and we'll do a live stream about that tomorrow night at 8 o'clock, talking about that. And I'm not going to hold back, because I said this, it's interestingly 24 hours before this game I said there's a problem in that dressing room. I don't know what the problem is, and I don't know who the problem makers are, but whoever the influencers are in that dressing room, they're cancerous. It could be Lukaku, it could be Pogba, it could be Lindelof, it could be Smalling, it could be Jones. I don't know who it is, but whoever the leaders are in that dressing room need fucking off, because that team is spineless. It is bottlers. We're Bottlers FC. You cannot play for 10 minutes, then fucking drop your heads because Barcelona score. That's weak. It's weak. Look at what Roy Keane did 20 years ago in Turin. Gets himself booked. Knows he's going to miss the cup final. Did his head drop? Did he start belling? No. He fucking inspired us to win. That's what United's all about. Not this hard done by drop your head because we're losing bullshit. That's what we're missing. And whoever in that dressing room is meant to be the leaders, sell them, get them out, because they haven't got the right. They're not made of the right stuff. I don't care who. I don't care who it is as well. It can be one of my favourite players. I don't care who it is. Get them out, because I tell you what, Mark Noble would be better in a United shirt than most of that team, because at least he fights. At least he's passionate. Of course, he's nowhere near good enough to play for United, but we need players like that. We need some grit and determination. Thanks everyone for watching. Smash a like on video, especially if Fred was your man of the match. I think he's the only positive again tonight. I'm back tomorrow, but keep your eye out for the fan cams, and I'll speak to you soon.